From a suspect who almost ended up in a wheelchair after fleeing from troopers, to a suspect who thought running from Georgia State Patrol was a good idea, to a suspect who fled over 140 miles per hour trying to outrun the cops, and many more. On August 23, 2025, the last light of a Georgia summer hangs low over the highway. The city starts to exhale. It's the kind of night where most people are heading home, but one rider has other plans. A black motorcycle with no license plate moving just a little too deliberately through the interchange. To most drivers, it's invisible. To one trooper exiting the highway, it's a detail that doesn't add up. Trooper activated his lights and sirens, and just like that, the motorcycle runs.
Speeds 90 miles per hour.
This unit, total traffic, this unit, total traffic. Last unit, readvise your unit number and location.
Black on 4. We are now on Godby Road. We'll be westbound going towards 09.
I just clear Godby Road, westbound going towards 09.
Coming up to Southampton.
I just found something on Southampton.
Speed's gonna be 105 radio.
The rider pushes through a red light, barely missing a car crossing legally through the intersection, and opens the throttle heading toward the highway corridors. Speeds climb past 100 miles per hour. What really goes through a person's mind at that speed in that traffic with blue lights in the mirror?
Gotcha.
Top 5. Identify South Fulton and College Park as well.
Truckstar, you have an update.
We'll be on National Northbound, post number 285.
I just found on National Park, no 45.
Well, National still northbound.
Truckstar, you have an update.
Go ahead.
What I do? Black on 4 radio, I'm gonna have one in custody. Just coming straight down Old National. Okay, I got you. Roll over. Roll over.
The suspect, later identified as Jimmy Gurley, was taken into custody without further incident. Asked if he was injured in the fall, Gurley said he wasn't. An ambulance was called to the scene regardless. He was transported to the county jail facing a list of charges that told the full story of those few minutes. No tag, fleeing and eluding, reckless driving, speeding over 35 miles per hour above the limit, erratic lane changes, running traffic control devices, operating on the wrong side of the road, unlawful use of blue lights, and aggressive driving. It was July 27, 2023, when a trooper who was stationary spotted a motorcyclist driving without a license plate. He put his car in drive and caught up to the rider with lights and sirens activated. The motorcyclist slowed down, and everything was looking routine until he decided to test his luck and fled from the trooper, twisting the throttle and disappearing down the road.
You better stop. You better stop. All right, he's taking off again. We're on the service road, headed back towards town now. City unit. Yeah, Tim. Speed trigger. just turned on to Crescent.
As the chase progressed, the suspect reached speeds even of 100 miles per hour. The trooper, however, following right behind, knowing this suspect had something to hide, and that's why he was running. He knew he better keep focused and bring this suspect to justice.
Residential areas.
Yeah, Temple. We're in the parking lot right now. Back on Crescent.
Okay, if we can't get him stopped there pretty quick and he goes to getting reckless, let's 1022 it because we don't need to get anybody hurt.
10-4. I'm gonna make that call in just a second.
The suspect lost control of his bike and crashed. The first thing he said once the trooper exited the patrol car was that he was being recorded, like he didn't just flee from him for the past 10 minutes. The trooper found dozens of drugs in his backpack along with a firearm and discovered he had a felony warrant for fleeing, which explained why he ran. He was arrested and taken into custody without further incident. It was March 3rd, 2022, when a trooper was traveling south on Interstate 75 when Troop A Communications notified units of a vehicle pursuit. Bartow County Sheriff's Office units had been in pursuit of a motorcycle and were now in Gordon County, approaching the Whitfield County line, requesting assistance from Georgia State Patrol. The trooper exited at the 320 ramp and turned to get back on the northbound side. As he crossed over, he observed a single headlight traveling at a high rate of speed, being pursued by several marked police cars with their emergency lights and sirens activated. He got back onto Interstate and attempted to catch up with the pursuit, eventually becoming primary as the motorcycle continued to flee at high speeds, changing lanes erratically.
About 1050, Sergeant. We're still northbound.
Traffic light, just after the 326.
Whitfield County on the line. They have been advised they will not assist folks. They passed at 328 northbound center lane.
As the chase continued, the trooper eventually took the primary position, but the suspect was going over 120 miles per hour and going all over the road. Slowing him down with a box-in maneuver was nearly impossible at that speed, for now the tactic was to stay right behind him and cause him to make any kind of mistake that troopers could use in their favor.
They want to go right.
Copy passing 340 at this time. Only will contact CHP. Okay, all units be advised, Whitfield's going to contact the 274 center.
Up on your right.
Troop A, all units be advised, pursuit to the stage, unit to 3-1.
The trooper tried to pinch him to the guardrail after they slowed him down, but somehow in the last second he managed to slip away, weaving around the patrol vehicles and accelerating back to dangerous speeds. But as the chase continued further, they realized they now had much more control over him than in the beginning, and it was only a matter of time before the suspect ran out of luck.
Copy, northbound, left lane, 1 mile, 348. Copy, right lane, coming up on 348.
He's trying to jump off 348.
Copy, trying to jump off 348.
Let you know as you go. He's 1050.
1050.
The suspect was traveling too fast, lost control of the motorcycle, and crashed. He was taken into custody without further incident, complaining of an injury to his back, and medical aid was summoned. After he recovered from the hospital, he was taken to the county jail on a heavy stack of charges. On September 29, 2023, Troop G Dispatch notified a trooper they'd received 4 calls in reference to a black motorcycle traveling westbound on Interstate 30 driving recklessly. Callers reported the operator was braking hard in front of people, switching lanes fast and flipping people off. One caller stated the operator must be high, and another said it looked like he was trying to get run over. The trooper was given a description of the motorcycle, operator, and license plate number. He located the motorcycle and operator near the 2-mile marker westbound on Interstate 30, noticing it was traveling 78 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour construction zone. He activated his emergency lights and siren to perform a traffic stop. The motorcycle continued westbound and then abruptly made a dangerous turn onto exit 1, and the chase was on.
First you do, and you drive your way to legally on it.
Pursuit continued into Texas, where ASP Major Mike Moyer joined as a secondary unit. The motorcycle continued west on Interstate 30, making dangerous lane changes while overtaking vehicles. Major Moyer and the trooper attempted a box-in technique but were unsuccessful. But the troopers knew he couldn't drive like that forever, and he would eventually make a mistake they could use in their favor.
Trying to help me out and get him stopped. Coming up on the area.
trooper used his bumper to contact the motorcycle's rear right saddlebag, causing the rear tire to lose traction. When it regained traction, the operator accelerated over a curb, became airborne, and crashed into the grass, separating from the motorcycle. He was handcuffed, and the trooper located a Smith & Wesson pistol in his front waistband. The operator was identified as David Rourke, who stated he was scared and had taken unknown drugs in Arkadelphia. He was transported to Christus St. Michael's, where he stated he may have a fractured neck and was hallucinating, asking about a Tahoe that didn't exist. It was February 8, 2021, when a trooper was on patrol in Fulton County when he observed a blue motorcycle traveling at a high rate of speed. He activated his emergency equipment to stop the vehicle westbound on GA 166 near Stanton Road, and the rider fled. He notified Troop C Communications of the pursuit as they continued westbound on GA 166 at high speed.
We're 1080.
I am on hold 10-3, 10-33, 10-80. What's your thing?
166 westbound, coming up on 285 in a minute.
797, what's your thing? Location? Get on 25.
35 south.
25 south. Can I get update?
Still getting on 35.
Now this chase was becoming a real deal, the suspect going over 140 miles per hour, driving on the shoulder, splitting lanes, weaving in and out of traffic, all at that speed. Of course, he had the advantage filtering through traffic, which the trooper couldn't really do, but despite that, trooper put in a really good effort and stayed right behind the suspect, not letting him out of his sight.
Okay.
285, still 285, coming up on Old National Highway. Vehicle cruise.
What line are you?
Far left lane, far left lane. That's the cars on the shoulder. Passing Riverdale Road.
Yes, we're there. Eastbound coming up on.
The chase continued on Interstate 285 eastbound to the area of the Conley Road overpass, where the rider attempted to pass traffic on the shoulder and struck the median wall, crashing violently.
Can I get an update?
Conley Road. Got one push bomb. Stand by. White fit.
The rider fled on foot for a short distance before laying on the ground, where he was taken into custody without further incident. The driver was identified as John Andrews, and a check of his information returned his license was suspended. During a search of Mr. Andrews' person, the trooper located 2 plastic bags containing methamphetamine, which Mr. Andrews indicated he was a user of and had previously smoked. Mr. Andrews was read implied consent for blood, which he refused, and was transported to Clayton County Jail and released to intake personnel. It was November 6, 2021. A Lowndes County Sheriff's Office deputy observed a suspect on a silver Suzuki Hayabusa motorcycle with a skull decal riding at speeds more than 20 miles above the posted limit on Shiloh Road in Hahira, Georgia. The suspect, later identified as Uriah Wade Hall, increased his speed when the deputy attempted to pull him over, then slowed down near the interstate ramp. Hall made a motion with 2 fingers indicating he was continuing to flee and entered the southbound ramp onto IG-75, increasing his speed up to 145 miles per hour.
Front property, we're passing the 12 on the second unit.
Well, it's just on there.
They just passed.
Hall continued fleeing at 145 miles per hour for more than 20 miles as 2 Georgia State Patrol units joined the pursuit and attempted to execute a rolling roadblock. Hall was able to accelerate and evade the first attempt, weaving through the coordinated units with precision.
I'm sorry, that's 49, second off, can I do this at the top?
Hall lost control, the Hayabusa sliding across the pavement before coming to rest on the ground in the far left lane of travel. EMS was called, and deputies rendered medical aid to Hall at the scene. A search revealed Hall was in possession of a loaded 9mm caliber semi-automatic pistol, 829 grams of methamphetamine, a small quantity of heroin, digital scales with white powder residue, and $1,610 in cash. Hall had previously been convicted of several felony offenses, including burglary, possession with intent to distribute controlled substances, and giving a false name to law enforcement, making it illegal for him as a convicted felon to possess a firearm. It was November 15, 2025. Trooper Dobbins was patrolling eastbound on Rogers Avenue near Casey's gas station when he observed a white male on a black dirt bike traveling westbound who pulled into Casey's and rode a wheelie. The male was later identified as Tyler McKinney. Trooper Dobbins turned into Casey's and McKinney looked at him and proceeded west into a nearby field. The trooper activated his emergency lights and sirens to stop McKinney, but he went behind a business in an attempt to evade, then went back east through the field toward Casey's before getting back onto Rogers Avenue, heading westbound and accelerating quickly.
Yeah, I guess I am. We're back westbound on Rogers Avenue, heading into Fort Smith. And we're going down Phoenix. And going down Mazard. Going in the hideaway. Coming through Aldi, going back out onto Zero for Phoenix.
10-4, going on to Phoenix.
The suspect was fleeing all over the place through parking lots, weaving all over the road. He was everywhere. He probably played too much GTA and thinks escaping the cops works like that, but he could not be more wrong.
Turning into back of Walmart.
Turning into Walmart.
Then right now we're going back down Mazard, going back towards Rogers.
Back down Mazard towards Rogers.
He's going into oncoming traffic now. Or do you want me to stop him?
10-4, oncoming traffic.
Back on Rogers, going towards Palmer.
Rogers towards Palmer.
He wrecked out here for Walmart. Now he's on foot, running, going into the ditch.
After the crash, McKinney stood up, looked at the trooper, and ran on foot towards a ditch. The trooper arrived at River Valley Smile Center and searched the area before dispatch informed him Fort Smith police had received additional reports of McKinney behind Car Wash USA Express. A witness flagged the trooper down and stated McKinney was in or near the dumpsters. The trooper checked but didn't see him. While checking a nearby ditch, another witness looked behind the dumpster, located McKinney, and notified the trooper. McKinney stood up, surrendered, and was taken into custody without further incident. After being treated and released, he was transported to Sebastian County Detention Center, where he was booked and released to jailers on duty. On May 13, 2023, Trooper Matthews was finishing a traffic stop along Interstate 85 South when he observed a dark-colored sport bike motorcycle pass his location in excess of the posted speed limit and begin accelerating even faster. He entered his patrol vehicle and caught up with the motorcycle as it exited, observing it still traveling in excess of the posted speed limit. He activated his emergency equipment to initiate a traffic stop, but the motorcycle improperly passed another vehicle in the same lane, looked back at the patrol vehicle, and accelerated rapidly.
Going up 404 from 85 on a white motorcycle. Tag you picked up and check aviation for me on trip 6. If anybody's northbound in Lennox, we're coming to. There we're at, there we're at. Moving all the way over to the right, and taking the exit ramp. They're taking the exit ramp. Trying to go back 400 south, and jump the curve. He almost 1050 came off the bike. I think the tag's G361 or 36I, maybe. We're going back 400 south.
The pursuit continued north on State Route 400 before exiting on a Lennox road, where the motorcycle conducted a U-turn and re-entered on a State Route 400 south, operating in a reckless manner at high speeds. The pursuit merged onto I-85 south again, where they traveled south until the motorcycle merged onto I-75 north, continuing along I-75 north at dangerous speeds, weaving through traffic.
They're on 85 south this morning. Far right shoulder. Check on Phoenix. Almost get taken in the back of another car. And we're still staying connector south. Yep, taking Moore's Mill. Get the up! Roll over! Hands behind your back! Atlanta 1050, 1095. At what point in time did you think that was a good idea? Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought.
The suspect complied and was placed in custody. Once the motorcycle helmet was removed, the trooper detected a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the suspect's breath as he spoke and observed bloodshot, watery eyes and dilated pupils. He was transported to the hospital and later taken into the county jail on a long list of charges. On May 30th, 2024, on a quiet Georgia road, the kind of stretch where not much happens, where the biggest decision most people face is whether to wave at the car passing the other way. It was a routine patrol until a motorcycle rolls into view with no license plate. Moving casually as if the absence of one is no concern at all, an officer takes notice. Emergency equipment reaches for the switch and the rider bolts into a private driveway. The officer follows with lights activated, and in the span of a breath, the motorcycle rolls backward, lurches forward across a yard, and tears back onto the road.
1080.
Yeah.
1080, where's Crossroads with a white motorcycle coming towards 219?
48, 1080,
684, 684. Where's Crossroads coming up on 219? Clear left, clear right. The light coming off 219.
GSG 1080 on Terry.
Big contract.
Wrong side of the road.
On the side of the road.
The suspect fled at not some crazy speeds, but what was really the point of fleeing like that, and what could he possibly be trying to hide? He looked scared to be arrested, but also scared to risk the consequences of the decision he made earlier to flee. Still, the trooper couldn't really pit him, as it would be too dangerous on a motorcycle, so while backup was closing in, the trooper followed the suspect and kept him under his sight.
Negative on Bush Bond. He brake checked and went off the road a minute ago. I don't know if he's going to try to Bush Bond. We're still 1080 passing Whitaker. Just past Whitaker.
10-4, city limit, Karen Mill, 15.
Passing, coming up Jackson Creek Drive.
The suspect now picked up a little bit of speed, but still it wasn't enough to leave the trooper in the dust. He took bigger risks now as he knew he had to do something, otherwise he would end up in jail. But whatever he did, the trooper stayed right behind. The trooper wasn't here to play games, and he would soon realize that the hard way.
Straight through the roundabout.
Roundabout outside. Yeah, that's all.
Good guy.
area by the motorcycle.
Coming up on Lane Circle, coming up on the roundabout and downtown.
Broad Street, coming up Vernon. Let's go push by in a second. South Greenwood.
The trooper exited his patrol car and progressed into the heavily wooded area, observing the suspect coming back towards him. The trooper traveled on foot through the heavily wooded area to South Lewis Street, where he observed the suspect in the custody of LaGrange police officer Knowles, who stated he saw the suspect in a yard in the area and approached him, taking him into custody.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
All right.
Get on the ground! Arms out! I got him.
I got a left bad shoulder.
I don't care what you got.
Out now!
Get your arms out! Arms out!
I can't. I got a bad shoulder.
Arms out! You're fixing to get tased.
I can't, buddy.
Arms out!
He's on the down behind the tree.
Back at the patrol car, the rider finally gives a reason for all of it. He'd run, he said, because he had warrants. What he didn't say, and what records made clear, was just how serious those warrants were. Multiple felony holds, one from pardons and paroles. Fred Thomas Fincher III was transported to the Troup County Jail, where he was released to jail personnel without further incident. On February 28, 2024, Trooper was sitting stationary on Interstate 185 northbound near mile marker 44 when he checked the speed of a motorcycle traveling north at 131 miles per hour in a posted 70 miles per hour zone. He pulled from the median and activated his emergency equipment, beginning to travel north on Interstate in pursuit. As he negotiated a curve to the right and traveled onto a long straightaway, the motorcycle had completely disappeared from view. The trooper knew it must have taken the exit to Upper Big Springs Road. He exited, and after negotiating a curve on the exit ramp, spotted the motorcycle traveling west on Upper Big Springs Road, accelerating hard.
Turning right on Raglan,
Yeah, I'll be right on Raglan. We can turn down right now.
Turning right on Greenville.
We didn't get that now.
Not dead, give me 2 seconds. Going into the camper spot. 1080. 1080.
There's DR unit 1033. 1050 motorcycle. 1050.
Ground.
Corporal Turner arrived and utilized a pursuit-ending technique by striking the left rear of the motorcycle with his patrol vehicle at slow speed, causing the suspect to lose balance and fall over, ending the pursuit. The trooper placed the suspect under arrest and asked why he was fleeing. He said he was fleeing because he was traveling so fast on interstate and didn't have a driver's license. While searching him, the trooper discovered a handgun that came back stolen out of Houston County, Alabama. He was transported to Troup County Jail, and the stolen handgun was logged into evidence at Post 2 LaGrange.